Hello everybody. First of all, I'd like to thank IHFA for asking us as a family to be one of their focus farmers in this year. There's 101 different types of farming going on out there, all different types of systems, and they all work in their own way. So whatever you're most relaxed and pleased with and able to pay your bills and get out of from one year to the next, stick with it. As I said to my neighbours, like when things are going bad, all you have to do is think of the day the dust is blown back into your face and the fine day coming down the passage with the cows. So try think positive as much as you can. I'll just give you a rundown on how we started farming. Both my late wife and I, we both qualified as farm managers going back to years, and we were both working in two different dairy herds, managing them in North Cork. And I suppose like that we were at it for maybe 10 or 11 years, I suppose, at that stage. And I suppose we've two daughters. We had them on the ground maybe at that stage, maybe in the 1999, 97, we'll say. But when it came to 2002, we'll say at that stage we had a house bought and paid for, and we were living in Mallow, and not too far away from where we were working. 25 acres of land came up for sale not too far away from us. We had a look at it on a Sunday. We put a bid in on a Monday, and we had it bought on a Thursday. Happened a bit fast now, but we got the bank to work with us anyway, and we got there. So there was 25 acres in that. We got planning for the house in it, and we built a slotted house and got electricity into it and stuff like that. So our intention was to continue with our jobs and build a house on that land. But after maybe 12 months of working in that land, we got into a few dry cattle and that, and we felt that there was an awful lot more in us. So we kind of pulled off of building a house and that. But in 2004, we don't buy a newspaper that often, but we happened to buy one this particular day, and there was an aerial photograph of a nice farm for sale in Newtown Shandrum. And we went to see that evening. We went to see the following day and the day after, and we took a shovel with us then. And just trying to see what kind of side we were dealing with. But it had the full package. It had a dwelling house, an 8-unit milking parlour, 37,000 gallon milk quota, which we were very fortunate to have it with Kelly at the time. And there was about facilities for about 60 cows and 81 acres. So, to make a long story short anyway, we purchased that farm. Once we got living in that new farm, we offloaded the house, because the main thing is make sure there's a roof over our head anyway. So at that stage, that closed the gap a long ways on purchasing that farm. The one thing I suppose we were letting ourselves in for, we knew the job we were letting ourselves in for, because I was brought up on a dairy farm in heavy land in Carricknish, and my wife didn't come from a farming background, but she knew a fair bit about it. So we knew the job we were letting ourselves in for. So it was hard work to make ends meet at the same time, and a bit of luck with it, you know. So we continued on anyway for a bit, and we realised that with the progress we wanted to make on that farm, the farm itself wasn't going to carry it. So a job had to be kept going at the same time. But not alone did one job had to be kept going, but two jobs had to be kept going for a bit, because we were growing it fairly rapid. But it was hard work. But look, you'll do that when you're younger, you know. And but after about 7 or 8 years of that crack, we were increasing about 10 cows every year. We did get a lot of quota to buy on account of being with Kelly as a new entrant, and look, all that cost money as well, but it had to be paid for. But the only thing, I suppose, we took chances, and we were always taking chances, and we get away with some, we don't get away with others. But we did go an awful lot of milk over quota with Kelly and got away with it. But to be honest, we did get badly caught on the last year, but at the same time we had our numbers built up at that stage, and we were able to carry it, you know. But after about seven years or so anyway, I could see myself giving up the two jobs we had, and because it came down to the stage that more work didn't mean more money. So when I was able to spend more time at home, I was able to do things better maybe, and cut down on losses, because you were on top of your job way more. So that's the way we developed on. I suppose for the lads as a young age, they started showing calves. Thanks to John Kirby, that came to us first and signed us up as pedigree breeders. And look, with our job, we use it as a hobby as well, and we enjoy that, and that's what has brought us here today, taking us to all the shows around the country, make great friends, and the lads have made great friends all over the country as well. So that's important too. So look, the bottom line is make sure you enjoy what you're at. Just 2 years ago, there was 75 acres came up for sale alongside us, and we took another chance. We bought that. So thanks be to God, we're going well that way. But I suppose, look, at the fortunate thing, I suppose, bad luck hits everyone at some stage. And we last year I have just 2 years ago. But look, we're getting on anyway. So I'll just turn to the board here now, and I'll just show you what we're doing at this stage. We'd say we'd milk roughly 210 cows, we'll say, right through the summer into the winter, and we'd calve down about 260. As you see, calving interval here is 359. I would like to improve a bit in that, and we're working on that at the minute. The yield here is 7.835. Now, look, last year was no great year to be publicising figures, but that's what they've done. We were back at least maybe 1,000 to 1,200 kilos of milk there last year. And look, to be honest, with the way things went with us in the last couple of years, we kind of just fell down a bit in that things weren't going our way. But I think, look, with the year after getting now, we're back on track again, and our eye is back on the ball again. Fat and protein, just you can see, we say 412 fat, 334 protein, 583 kilos milk solid. So as a result of this one being down, this is down as well. But look at that's all improving again. So look, a lot of it's down to weather as well, you know. After that, we would be feeding a nice bit of ration, maybe 2.2 tons of ration. The kind of cow we have, look, she's a fairly demanding cow, and if we don't feed her, as we found out in the early years when we didn't have a diet feeder and we just had maybe ration and silage, and we weren't maybe meeting the requirement that they needed, and they kind of drew a bit of trouble on themselves, them cows. But once we got our diet right and upped our game that way, and we introduced a diet feeder there in 2013, it has improved an awful lot on the health of the cow. If anyone asked me about sex semen, I'd say, look, use a lot of it for a short time and move on, because it will delay your calving if you're going to stick with it too long. I'll be straight out about it. But if you would say that, if you would ask that same question to me going back 15 years ago, I think we were getting better results than that. It's funny, but that's the way it's after happening with us. We are using a share of beef stock bulls for the last 2 years, and the main reason for that is we'd say we were keeping an awful lot of Friesian heifers and calving them down and milk them for a couple of months and then sell surplus and all that. Now we're still doing that, but we were keeping more maybe. But we found we do have demand for money, we do have bills to pay, and since we bought that last farm, we found that if you have too many Friesian heifers around, the way the market was going, till every day of the year you can sell them. So we found that maybe you were nearly carrying your Friesian heifer the whole way to the milking parlour before you had a customer. Whereas if you had a share of beef cattle thrown in the mix, you're only a week away from having a check if we do come to that stage. So that's one of the reasons that we have beef bulls tidying up now at this stage, and we're getting away with it. After that, then there are just a few families there. You have the Jills and the Angels, the Ingrids, we'll say, which done very well for us, and the Cleaners, and they'll be the main cow families we'd have in the herd. Sires we'd have been using back along the years that put great emphasis on the herd would have been Cogent Twist, Boss-Eyed Massey, Peak Mr. Grey, West Coast Perseus, and there's another bull there called Da Vinci. Now what we see with selecting bulls, as you well know, there's hundreds of different AI bulls out there, and we find that if a certain bull is breeding well for us, I've no problem going back and using him and keep using him and using him, because there's too many mediocre bulls out there. So if you think there's some few bulls doing very well, stick with him, don't be afraid of overusing him as time goes on. Like we have one bull in particular there, Boss-Eyed Massey. We'd have cows in their 8th and 9th lactation at this stage by him, and we still have calves been born by that same bull. So you can see where I'm going there. We like a good solid cow, kind of just would look after herself to a certain extent, but also look after ourselves as well.